Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Lakeburg Legacies. When we left off in the previous episode, we had our first ever case of a successful gluttony between Drogo and, is it Emmerich, our baker, our really old baker? Yeah, Emmerich, who's 56 years old. This was instigated by Drogo. And it resulted in a first kiss between the two. So I have never had that gluttony prompt where they take part in a food festival actually results in anything good. Usually the person who's trying to impress the other person ends up throwing up, and whoever they're trying to impress ends up disgusted. But in Drogo's case, it was kind of intense because the whole time he was stuffing his face, he was like staring down Emmerich, and Emmerich was like sucked in. And then Drogo did not throw up. He actually won the contest, and Emmerich was just swept off his feet. And now the two have kind of like a thing going on in the background, and it's kind of like, secretive. So Drogo, we kind of had the story that maybe Emmerich is kind of the one delivering bread to the castle for the chancellors, and that's how they started seeing each other and meeting each other. And then Drogo suddenly found himself kind of very intrigued and attracted to this baker, given the fact that his wife Catelyn works all the way across the kingdom in the mines, so she probably doesn't get a lot of chance to interact with him. And as someone who works at the castle, I imagine Drogo largely stays in the quarters provided to him at the castle and maybe comes back into town like a few times a week. So yeah, things have taken some unexpected turns. But okay, let us continue to see what happens in the village. Actually, before we dive into that, I did notice that some of our youngsters have aged up, guys. Hermione and Eamon are now 6 years old, and we need to see where they would like to apprentice. So Hermione, guys, wants to apprentice as a seamstress, but she has potential to be a jeweler and carpenter in the future. So we're going to go ahead and we can definitely get her in the sewing workshop. I think Calanth is going to train Hermione, so that should be good between the two of them. This is the first time Calanth is taking on an apprentice. And then we have little Eamon, who also wants to be a seamster. I mean, a jeweler and a seamster, but we can definitely make him another one of our seamster apprentices. So he is going to be apprenticed to Oriana. So go ahead, get these two here. Now, given the fact that Hermione and Eamon are the same age, I'm wondering whether they're going to be the next kind of childhood sweethearts, but they don't know each other. Who knows? Maybe apprenticing together is going to get them to interact more, but I'm pretty sure between Calanth and Wolfgang, they literally started interacting like they met each other as babies, and then it kind of continued, because I remember by the time they were 6 years old, they already had a friendship going on. So yeah, it's a bit different with Hermione and with Eamon, but who knows? I could also see them, for now, because we don't have necessarily room or the resources to expand, I could see them apprenticing as seamsters and then ending up working at the jewelers. Who knows? But I really love the fact that they have a whole bunch of interests or maybe like potential that can be used in the future. Like, they're useful children for the kingdom. They're important children for the kingdom. But okay, that is all I think we had to do, is get them settled in the sewing workshop. So let's go ahead and see what else is happening in town. Okay. Oh no. Our blacksmith has died. Our Killy, at 34 years old, guys, has died and taken our piece with him, because this means that we no longer have someone producing tools, which is not good, because I'm pretty sure that is going to affect the carpenters. Actually, no, thankfully. That does not affect the carpenters, but the tools are kind of useful for what? The tools are useful for building, I think. And if we don't have tools, we can't really build. which kind of sucks. Let's see. Actually, we need wheat, we need jewelry, and we need, yeah, basically, okay, so the tools aren't gonna kill us. So at this point, not having a blacksmith is not necessarily destructive to the kingdom, but we need farmers and we need jewelers, essentially. We need farmers and jewelers right now, guys. The farming was the backbone. Think about it. Food is the backbone of any society, and our society is crumbling at this point. But okay, Eloise and Marie, they're impressed. So mother and daughter were spending time together, and they are very impressed with, who knows, maybe they're impressed with the younger generation because they have, you know, heard about Hermione and they've heard about Eamon, and both of them seem to kind of know what they want to do, but also where the kingdom might be lacking. And, you know, some children don't particularly care to be of service to the kingdom. Others have a, you know, better sense of, I don't know, social responsibility. And so I can see how Eloise and Marie might be impressed with the youngsters. Okay, well, you know, does the building site need tools? No, they use stone. You know what, though, the tools are used for? The tools, in some cases, are useful for, like, expanding different industries. Yeah, that's what the tools are useful for. But, you know, we're not too worried about expansion at this point because we need people in jobs. That's what we need. But we don't have the right people. We have a bunch of, like, we have 4 unemployed people, but they don't have anywhere they want to kind of settle into. And I have already checked up with them, but it's nothing that I can help with. Oh, hold on. We might be able to make a match. Randall, do you have history with Mabel? He does not. He has no history with Mabel. And they're kind of close in age. He's 26 and she is 21. So I think Randall is going to try his luck with Mabel, actually. Yeah. So let's try our luck with Mabel and see how things go there. Okay, they have awful affinity. It's 0. Their affinity is at 0, guys. Yeah, Mabel has a very difficult personality. Very, very difficult. I mean, she's got genetically clubfoot, but aside from that, she's shy, she's lazy and greedy, so I imagine someone who spends any bit of time with her gets very exhausted very quickly. But let's send them out and see if maybe things are going to work out here. Let's see, they're starting off with a boat ride at the lake. We could say no cuddles before the 3rd date, or ask Mabel for her opinion on divinatory pseudosciences. We're going to ask for her opinion. Mabel's fortune teller had recently warned her to watch for down-to-earth people. And then we're at the hill by moonlight. We could talk about the importance of money in a relationship. Or we could denigrate the baker's treats. We're going to denigrate the baker. Mabel thought about inviting Randall to share some delicious gingerbread. Never mind, it's his loss. Okay, I don't think this is going to pan out. It's embarrassing. It's not working out. I think Randall very desperately kind of asked Mabel on a date, but the more time he was spending with her, he kind of realized that no, this is the wrong type of woman. Like, this is not the type of wife he wants. Even if it's going to cost him, you know, a roof over his head, it's okay. He would rather kind of stay out on the streets a bit longer than end up under Mabel's wing. Yeah, I think he backed out of that real quick, guys. He backed out of that real quick. She was totally not what he thought she was. So, okay, that didn't work out. That is okay. They are going to wait it out and see maybe if anyone else kind of, you know, shows up on the marriage market. But let's continue, see what else everyone is getting up to in town. See what else is happening. Oh, Marie and Emmerich didn't last that long. This does not surprise me because Emmerich has been kind of having an affair with Drogo behind Marie's back. This is the first ever divorce that Marie has ever had. She's had 2 husbands before Emmerich, and both of them have kind of passed away and left her widowed. She's never divorced anyone. So I kind of have I don't know if she would instigate this or Emmerich would. Emmerich has had a lot of divorces, so I kind of get the feeling. Yeah, this was his 6th wife. This was, oh my goodness, all his wives are dead. Has he divorced his wives? Or have they died? I know he definitely divorced Colette, because I remember him divorcing Colette before his daughter Mabel, or after his daughter was born. But, well, there we go. This is his, 6th marriage and 6th divorce. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So he literally divorced Marie, and then as soon as he was out on the street, he died. Like, his health was not good enough for him to be out on the street. Drogo, you had a brief tryst with Emmerich, and now I feel like Drogo's gonna be wondering, like, why Emmerich hasn't been delivering the bread. And maybe it's gonna be a bit too late for him to find out that Emmerich has passed on. Like, I imagine this is gonna go on for a few days, maybe like, a week, and then Drogo's gonna wonder, like, where did Emmerich go? How come he's not delivering the bread like he normally does? And then someone else is gonna come and is gonna ask about Emmerich, and then find out that Emmerich had a divorce, he was out on the streets, and he died. Oh, that's tragic. That is tragic. Okay, well, what else has been happening aside from his death? So Crispin and Wolfgang apparently have met, and they don't like each other. Wasn't Crispin Wolfgang's adoptive father? Okay, so he gets along very well with his adoptive mother Oriana, but for some reason he and his adoptive father Crispin, they just don't gel. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. We do have, guys. Hold on a second. Is Marie tied to Randall in any way? I don't think so. Okay, guys. Well, Marie is going to ask Randall out on a date, and oh my goodness, this is like the age gap. The age gap is ancient. She's 74 years old. He is 26. He could be her grandchild. But you know what, guys? You know what? Marie's blessed with a long life. Randall is a man of the evening, okay? He's a man of the evening. He has all sorts of clients. I don't think he's going to be as opposed to this as you might think. But Marie, she's going to approach Randall, and we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. They have awful affinity. They have no affinity. And obviously, because they're both kind of heartbroken, it's not helping either. They already have things they disagree on, like meditation and painting, but they agree on music at least. So let's see how this goes, okay? Let's see how this goes. Then starting off at the inn, we could say flowers are pointless, or make fun of meditation. She's gonna make fun of meditation. Randall, a regular meditator, unsuccessfully tries to get Marie to change her mind. And then they're going for a boat ride at the lake. We could say that there's too much fishermen in the lake, or ask if the cards provided Randall insight into their future. We'll ask him about the cards. To Randall, this is all just a bunch of pagan shenanigans. Okay, yeah, it is embarrassing. No need to insist. I think Randall was just trying to be kind to Marie by saying yes to the date, but he's probably thinking, like, she's old enough to be my grandma, you know? She could be my grandmother, literally. It is... No. So, he backed out of that real quick. I'm sorry, Marie. So right now, Marie, Randall, and Mabel are all single and just gonna, wait it out. They're gonna wait it out, see what's happening in town. Let's keep going. Loreline passed away. Our lumberjack, one of our lumberjacks. So she, at like 38 years old, she's gone. Now her husband Helios, who is a carpenter, is also going to be homeless. I am so sorry, Helios, sorry. Where'd you go? Yep, Helios. Our carpenter is gonna be out on the streets, guys. And someone is going to have... I think... Marie, do you have history with Helios? No. She's gonna try her luck with Helios, guys. The 39-year-old carpenter. So Marie, let's see if this works out. And Helios doesn't have any, children with him, so he'll make a fine stepfather for Marie's child. If it does work out. Okay. She has no affinity with him, like awful affinity. It's at 0. But, if they weren't heartbroken, then it might be a little bit better, because they don't seem to have any disagreements over something. Okay, let's get these two going and see what happens. We are at the inn. We could talk about the sufferings of war and mention the nice countryside. We'll mention the countryside. Unfortunately, Helios is not keen about navigating muddy paths or the smell of manure from the fields. And then we're having a boat ride. We could seek a dancing partner for the next ball. We'll talk about favorite songs. We'll talk about the songs. Marie and Helios talk for hours about their favorite bards and musical genres. Okay, I think Helios, even though it's a loveless marriage, is grateful that he is gonna not be on the streets. Because I bet you he heard about Emmerich, and he was like, oh my goodness, Emmerich had a divorce. He was out on the streets for one night and he died. And Helios is thinking, I don't know the state of the streets right now, but I don't want to test my luck. I am going to just take Marie as is. So, Marie and Helios are now married. That is fine. That is fine. We'll see how they make it work as time goes on. Okay, good on you, Helios. Good on you. And now, of course, Randall and Mabel are the only ones kind of waiting it out. That is okay. That is okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Oh, wait, what? Guys, Eloise has died. Marie's daughter has died. And they were so close. They were really, really close. She's died at 43 years old. After a short but intense life, Eloise Bonnet quietly passed away, surrounded by those closest to her. While death is often a sad event, no one could easily find themselves jealous of the serene look of fulfillment that lined Eloise's face. Moments like these are a rarity here in Lakeburg. At least her death was peaceful and she was surrounded by all her friends and family. I feel like Nathan is gonna take it hard because Nathan was like best friends with her. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, well. Someone just lost a wife. That means someone just lost a house. So let's go find where he's at. Brian has just lost the house, and so has Althea. Althea is 17 years old though. She's only got a year left before she's gonna be young adult. And we also have Mirabelle. Guys, Mirabelle has just become 18. Mirabelle Frost. So let's see, where does she want to work? She is hardworking, humble, and devout. She does have the club foot, but she has a great personality. So she's the granddaughter of Eberolf and Colette, and the daughter of Valerius and Anne. She wants to be a seamstress or a carpenter. Now, we don't have any spaces in this sewing workshop or resources to introduce another slot. What about the carpenter's workshop? Darn it! We don't have enough leather to do anything here either. So unfortunately, she's not going to have a job right now, but she can get a house of her own. She's going to be in the 2nd district. She's going to live with the Coldwell family, the Payne, and the Winterbourne family, but she's going to be right next door to the childhood sweethearts, Calanthe and Wolfgang. So she's going to settle in over here, and we might be able to matchmake. Okay, Brian, do you have any history with Mabel? Let's see. He does not. He's only been married with Alana and Eloise. I feel like he has a type, or he's had a type in the past, because Alana and Eloise looked very similar. They were very, very similar in appearance. But okay, he is going to ask Mabel on a date. He's a 40-year-old fisherman. She's a 21-year-old lady. Let's see how this goes. They have awful affinity. It's like at 0 right now. They disagree on muscles and treats, but let's see how this pans out. Okay, they're starting off at the lake. We could talk about painting, Brian's new passion, or say that minstrels make too much noise. We'll go with the minstrels. If Lakeburg could banish all musicians, the village would be calmer and Mabel would be happier. And then they're going to go to the inn. We could denigrate Lakeburg's baker, or we could ask if the cards provided Mabel insight into their future. We'll ask about the cards. It seems our 2 lovebirds share the same medium, who recently promised them that they'd soon meet their soulmate. What a coincidence. Okay, I think we are going to have a marriage that is, like, they're infatuated. It's not loveless. They are infatuated with each other. I think for the first time, Or maybe unexpectedly, they felt a flutter in their chest. They did not think so soon after their recent heartbreak they'd be able to move on, but they're kind of excited by each other. So hopefully things are okay with them. So Brian and Mabel are going to be together. Let's see. Yeah, and obviously Brian has brought with him Althea, which is very nice. So Althea, thankfully, is not going to be on the streets. She's going to kind of have like a stable life under Mabel. I mean, she only needs that support for another year, and then she's going to be fine. But where is Mabel? Mabel is here. You know, Mabel's okay. Mabel's okay. She has a longer life than her husband for sure. It's okay. It's enough to give Althea some sense of security for at least another year. And then I think Randall is not connected to Mirabelle. I mean, she just aged up. He is going to try his luck with Mirabelle. Yeah, he's 27 years old. She's 18. It's not too much of a gap. I mean, he went on a date with a 70-year-old grandma, you know? So I think he's fine. Let's see how things pan out between the two of them. So Randall and Mirabelle. Oh, they have good affinity. And even though he is divorced, I think he's gotten over his heartbreak. So this is really good. They both like music and they both dislike fishing. Okay. Let's see how this goes. We're going to start off at the Hill by Moonlight. We could mention the nice countryside or say that minstrels cause too much noise. We'll go for the minstrels. Mirabelle loves minstrels, bards, and troubadours, but finds this conversation boring. Okay, and then we're at the inn. We could recite a poem or propose the idea of picking flowers. We'll go with the flowers. What a romantic idea. Mirabelle is enchanted. Okay, so it is a loveless marriage, but since they have good affinity, it's at 63%. They might be able to kind of make this work in the long term. But there we go. Mirabelle and Randall have just gotten married, guys. Have just gotten married. Wonderful, wonderful. So he is now a member of the Frost family. Good for him. And I quickly want to just see. They have good affinity. They do want to have a baby. They have a 6% chance of having a child. Yeah, she's got a decent lifespan. It's not the longest, but you know, they might be able to make it work. Well, guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.